I am making a Horus Winged Dragon of Raw deck profile. I finally managed to get everything I needed for the deck, even though Phantom Nightmare releases at the time of this recording in 2 days officially. So I'm just going to make the video for what I currently have, and then once I have 3 of the new field spell and 2 Black Flame deities, and preferably a third copy of a card in my deck that I don't only have 2 of, I will make an update for the deck profile. But for now, I really like how it works, so I figured I'd go ahead and make the video. Starting off with 3 copies of Reactor Slime. Reactor Slime has the effect that... I actually forget what phase it's in. Okay, during the main phase, you can summon 2 slime tokens that are level 1 water aqua monsters with 500 attack and defense. And you cannot normal or special summon monsters the rest of the turn, except for divine beast monsters. And then during the battle phase, that effect doesn't matter because I don't play Metal Reflect Slime. This is just in here to be a token generator so I can get tributes for the Winged Dragon of Ra. Next, I play 2 copies of Dualmatef. Let's see, it was Dualmatef Blessing of Horus. Dualmatef has the effect that once per turn, if you have King Sarcophagus in play, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. And then if a card leaves on your field leaves the field because of an opponent, then you can activate its effect to draw cards for up to the number of monsters you control in the main monster zone. And you can only use each effect of Dualmatef Blessing of Horus once per turn. And then I play 1 copy of Happy and Guidance of Horus. Guidance of Horus has the same summoning effect as Dualmatef, except its unique effect is when a card or cards leaves the field, then you can activate by a opponent's card effect. You can activate this card's effect to then target 2 cards that are banished, and you either add them to your hand or shuffle them into the deck. Then I play 1 Kebasenuef Protection of Horus. Kebasenuef has the effect that, again, it can summon itself from grave if you control King Sarcophagus. And then when a card you control card or cards leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you have to get this card's effect so that your Horus monsters cannot be targeted for attacks or targeted by card effects. Kebasenuef is mostly in this deck just so that it's a level 8 monster that you can summon off of off for your spams. And then next, this is the main one I still need a 3rd copy of, but that I play 2 copies of Imseti, Glory of Horus. Normally you play 3 copies of Imseti, but because, well, don't think it's focused on them. Maybe, hopefully it's better. But Imseti has the effect where you can discard it and another card for cost, and then be able to add a King Sarcophagus from your deck to your hand, and then draw 1 card. And then it has the other effect of... what was it? I always forget. When a card or cards you control leave the field because of an opponent's card, then you can... Or doesn't have that effect? Oh, there it is. The monster zone. You can send 1 card on the field to the graveyard, which I actually really like because it's non-targeting removal. And then, just like the other 3, it also summons itself from the grave just by controlling King Sarcophagus. And all of them can only be special summoned once per turn that way. And all their effects are once per turn. Next, I play 3 copies of Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime has the effect of... if you take... what was it? If you get attacked directly, you can special summon it. So if you take battle or effect damage, you special summon this card from your hand, and then during damage calculation, if it battles an opponent's monster, you can activate this card's effect to then have it gain defense equal to that monster's attack during damage calculation only. And then its last effect is if this card is sent from hand or field to grave, then you can add a spell or trap in your deck to your hand that mentions the Winged Dragon of Ra in its text, and you can only use each effect of Guardian Slime once per turn. This card is mainly just in here because if it goes to grave, then you get to add a spell or trap that mentions the Winged Dragon of Ra. Speaking of which, I play 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra. The Winged Dragon of Ra has the effect where it can't be special summoned, In order to defeat that, it cannot be special summoned. It requires 3 tributes to normal summon it, and it cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon can't be negated. And then once the card's normal summoned, other cards and effects can't be activated, meaning that your opponent can't activate cards or effects until after its summoning has been resolved, which includes its on summon effect, or on its normal summon effect of being able to pay life points, so you only have 100 left, to have it gain attack and defense equal to the amount paid. And its last effect is you can pay 1,000 life points to then target one monster on the field and then destroy that monster. That is not once per turn. As long as you have your 1,000 life points, you can keep using that effect. And I honestly really like the Winged Dragon of Ra in this deck, just because it can get really big off of a certain spell card, and while also tributing Horus monsters. And then next, just deal with opponent's boards, because this is a somewhat blind go second deck. I play 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode. Sphere Mode can be normal summoned to your opponent's field by tributing 3 monsters they control. And then during the end phase, after the the end phase of the next turn after this card was normal summoned, it returns to its owner's control. And then you can, once per turn, you can during your main phase, you can tribute this card to then special summon 1 the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck. And if you do, its attack and defense becomes 4,000. And you can only... and then... One thing I actually did with this card that I thought was funny against my brother was... I gave him the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode, activated Owner's Seal to get it back, tributed it, to then special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. And I believe what I then did was activate Normal Summon to summon Phantom of Chaos, activate its effect, banish Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode from my grave, summon a second copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra, then use Monster Reborn to summon back Phantom of Chaos, Foolish Burial, send a second Sphere Mode to the grave, and then Phantom of Chaos copy Sphere Mode and did its effect a 3rd time. I actually thought that was hilarious. I summoned 3 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra in 1 turn. And then lastly, I play 1 copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix. Immortal Phoenix cannot be normal summoner set, and it cannot be special summoned except in the graveyard by its own effect. Where if the Winged Dragon of Ra leaves the field, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. And then I forget the rest of its effects besides the pay 1,000 destroy a monster. Let's see. It's unaffected by other cards' effects. And then during the end phase of this, you send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode from your hand, deck, or grave, ignoring its summoning conditions. Yeah, this is just a one-of just because of the fact that it has to be summoned from the grave. If it could be summoned from hand or grave, it might be more than 1. But anyway, for spells, I play 1 copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is supposed to target a monster in your graveyard, special summon it. 1 copy of Millennium Revelation. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Ancient Millennium. But it has the effect that when it's activated, you can send a Divine Beast from your deck to grave, to then add Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then you can send this face-up card to the graveyard this turn. You can special summon 1 the Winged Dragon of Ra from your graveyard with Monster Reborn, ignoring its summoning conditions. And then during the end phase of this turn, this card was activated, you must send the Winged Dragon of Ra you control that was special summoned with Monster Reborn to the graveyard. You can only use each effect of Millennium Revelation once per turn. Honestly, I don't really use that effect of Millennium Revelation. I honestly just use it so that I can search for Monster Reborn. That's essentially it. And then next, I play 3 copies of King's Sarcophagus. King's Sarcophagus has the effect that Horus monsters you control cannot be destroyed by cards that do not target them. So like Dark Hole, Raigeki won't destroy them. And then up to 4 times per turn, you can discard 1 card to send a Horus monster from your deck to grave. And then lastly, once per turn, if your Horus monster battles an opponent's monster, you can activate this card's effect to send that opponent's monster to the graveyard. Which That last part I think is a little good when you're just attacking with your Horus monsters. Anyway, next I play 3 copies of Ancient Chant. Ancient Chant has the effect that you can add the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck to your hand, and then it gives you additional tribute summon. And then you can also banish this card from your grave so that when you normal summon the Winged Dragon of Ra, the Winged Dragon of Ra then gains attack equal to the combined attack and defense of the monsters that were attributed to summon it. Which, this card is how the Winged Dragon of Ra can get really big for no reason. And I love it. And this is a card I'm thinking about adding 2 more copies out to the deck, just so that when you have the Winged Dragon of Ra, you can make it more, I believe the correct term is anime correct. The 1 copy of Blaze Cannon. You can only activate Blaze Cannon while you control the Winged Dragon of Ra. But when you do, you can activate this card so that the Winged Dragon of Ra gains the following 3 effects. Where it becomes unaffected by other cards' effects. If it destroys a monster by battle, it destroys all opponent's monsters. And then, when it attacks, you contribute any number of other monsters that have not attacked to then be able to transfer their attack points to the Winged Dragon of Ra. And you can only activate 1 Blaze Cannon per turn. And then, next is another card I think is really good alongside Ancient Chant, which is 3 copies of the True Sun God. You can only activate the True Sun God once per turn, but when it's activated, you can add the Winged Dragon of Ra or a monster that mentions it. I believe that's how that works. See, add Winged Dragon of Ra or 1 card that mentions it from your deck to your hand, so you can use the True Sun God to then be able to search things like Blaze Cannon, Guardian Slime, the Winged Dragon of Ra, Immortal Phoenix, Sphere Mode, any of those. Except for another, the True Sun God. And then after that, I forget the rest of it. Honestly, this card's mainly just used to for the search effect. And then monsters except the Winged Dragon of Ra cannot attack the turn they are special summoned, which I actually like that one a lot because it turns everything into a tune, kind of. It gives everything except the Winged Dragon of Ra summoning sickness, which I love. And then once per turn, during your main phase, you can send this card from the field or the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix from your deck to graveyard to then send the Winged Dragon of Ra, or send 1 Winged Dragon of Ra monster from your monster zone to grave. I butchered that, but basically what that effect does is lets you send Immortal Phoenix to grave to then send the Winged Dragon of Ra to grave, so you can summon back Immortal Phoenix. That's what it does. And then next, I play 3 copies of Soul Crossing. Soul Crossing just lets you tribute 3 monsters to immediately normal summon a Divine Beast monster. And then, if you use any of your opponent's monsters, because this lets you tribute 3 monsters from either field. But if you tribute any of your opponent's monsters, then for the rest of the turn, you can only activate 1 card or effect for the rest of that turn. Usually I'm using this with Reactor Slime and its 2 slime tokens. Or I'm using it on my opponent's turn to summon the Winged Dragon of Ra. Usually Sphere Mode, because Sphere Mode's better to do with this during your opponent's turn. I also play 3 copies of Toku Sano Shinkyojin. Toku Sano Shinkyojin is just a level 10 trade-in. You send monsters from your hand or field to grave, that's levels equal 10, draw 2 cards. That's it. This card's actually really good with Guardian Slime. As you discard your Guardian Slime, draw 2 cards, and then Guardian Slime then lets you add the True Sun God, or any other card from your deck to your hand that mentions the Winged Dragon of Ra. For the traps, I play 1 copy of Sun God Unification. This card can be activated the turn it's set if you control the Winged Dragon of Ra. And then it has 2 effects you can use, where you can... Let's see, I forget the first effect, honestly. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay. Its first effect lets you pay life points so you only have 100, and then transfer, or the Winged Dragon of Ra gains attack and defense equal to the life points you paid. And then its other effect is you contribute 1 the Winged Dragon of Ra, so that you gain life points equal to the attack points it had while it was on the field. You can only use 1 of those 2 effects per chain. I love that it's per chain, because that doesn't... because then you can use them both in the same turn. So you can activate Monster Reborn, summon the Winged Dragon of Ra, then use this card's effect to pay life points, and then have Ra attack. Or if you're about to lose or take damage, like say you have Raw attack and your opponent activates Magic Cylinder, you can then chain this to the Magic Cylinder, tribute the Winged Dragon of Raw, so not only do you not take any damage, but you also gain the life points back. And then the last two cards I play are 2 copies of Canopic Protection. I'm only testing this out. If I don't like it, then definitely I'll be taking 2 of these out for 2 more copies of Blaze Cannon. But Canopic Protection has the effect of once per chain, when an opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon a Horus monster from your hand or graveyard. However, for us this turn, you cannot summon monsters off of this card's effect that have the same name as that Horus monster. And then, where's the effect? If this card is sent from hand or field to grave, you can set this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. You can only use that effect of Canopic Protector once per turn. This is just mainly used so that you can keep summoning back your Horus monsters, which I honestly think is pretty good. But that is it for my main deck profile. Don't know why I keep trying to make it sound like that's the end of the video. It's not. For the extra deck, I play 3 copies of Egyptian God Slime. Egyptian God Slime has the effect that while it's in play, your opponent cannot target other monsters for attacks, nor target other cards you control with card effects. So I like getting 2 of these in play, just because then my opponent can't attack, and they can't target any of my cards with card effects. And then it also counts as 3 tributes for the tribute summon of a Divine Beast monster. And then it can also be special summoned from your extra deck by tributing a level 10 Aqua monster, or level 10 Water Aqua monster you control. So in this case, Guardian Slime. Or if you really want to play it, the 1 copy of Metal Reflect Slime that you can set from your deck or graveyard or banish off of the Metal or Reactor Slime. And then for the extra deck, I play 1 copy of number 90 Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. In this deck, Photon Lord is just a monster negate that doesn't destroy because it didn't detach a photon or a galaxy. It's one of those 2. But one thing I do is I side 3 copies of Galaxy Cyclone, because during your opponent's turn, you can activate Photon Lord's effect to make it so that you can take a Galaxy card from your deck and either add to your hand or attach it as material. Then I play 2 copies of Dengirsu, Orchestra of the Evening Evening Star. I don't know why I keep wanting to call it Orchestra of the Evening Twilight. But Dengirsu has the effect that when it's special summoned, you can activate one of 2 effects, where you can either target a card your opponent controls and send it to grave, or you can target one of your banished cards and attach it to as material. And then if a card or cards on your field be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach material from this card instead. Then I play 1 copy of number 38 Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Titanic Galaxy has the effect that I just now noticed the focus. It's not focusing. There we go. Hope Harbinger has the effect that if your opponent activates a spell or the effect of a spell, you can negate that card's activation and then attach it to as material. And the only other effect that really matters in this deck is when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can activate this card's effect to redeclare the attack on itself. And its last effect is if an Xyz monster leaves your field, you can target 1 monster you control, it gains attack equal to that Xyz monster's attack till the end of the turn. Then next, I play 1 copy of probably one of my favorite recently released cards. I say new, but it was released January 19th. 1 copy of number 1 Infection Buzz King. Infection Buzz King has the effect that you can only use each of its effects once per turn. Where if it's special summoned, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and send 1 monster to the graveyard. And then once per turn, you can detach material from this card, destroy 1 card your opponent controls, and then if it was a monster, inflict damage equal to that monster's attack on the field. And its final effect is during your standby phase, you can activate its effect, target a monster in your opponent's graveyard, attach it to this card, or target a card. You take a card from your opponent's grave and attach it to it as material. I honestly really like Infection Buzz King, and any deck that can make rank 8s, I am playing it. Then I also play one copy of number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. I'm gonna make it so that's more in a shot. There we go. Tachyon Dragon has the effect that at the start of the battle phase, you can detach material, negate the effects of every other monster on the field, and return their attack points to their original. Which, in the case of the Winged Dragon of Ra, I believe its original is the amount of life points you paid. Nope. So if you use this effect while you have the Winged Dragon of Ra in play, its attack will be reduced to 0. So you don't want to do that if you have the Winged Dragon of Ra in play. This is mainly just in here so that you can use it as a secondary option to then be able to get around opponent's monsters. But it negates the effects of all monsters your opponent controls, and then during the battle phase, your opponent activates a card or effect. It gains 1,000 attack points per card or effect that was used, and then it gets the ability to declare a second attack. At one point, I was able to have it declare 2 attacks in one battle phase with, I think it was 5,000 or 6,000 attack. And then next, I play one copy of number 97, Draglubian. Draglubian is mainly just in here so I can summon Numeron Dragon. But Draglubian has the effect of, once per turn, you can attach material, then target 2 dragon number monsters in your extra deck or graveyard, summon one of them, and attach the other to it, the summoned one as material. And then monsters you control cannot attack except the summoned monster. And then Numeron Dragon has the effect, the only one that matters is you can detach material, so until the end of the turn, or at the end of the next turn, it gets 1,000 attack for the combined ranks of all Xyz monsters in play. Which, usually, if you're able to get the Horus stuff to go off, which, by that I mean, you get all 4 of them engraved with King Sarcophagus in play, then this will usually be attacking with 17,000 attack points. And then I also play one copy of Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. This lets you detach material, target a monster your opponent controls, take control of it to the end of the turn. If you do, its effects are negated, and its name becomes Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, and its attack becomes 3,000, its defense becomes 2,500. And then I also play one copy of Full Armor Photon Dragon. Full Armor Photon Dragon can be special summoned by using a Galaxy Eyes Xyz monster you control, which I actually really like doing by having Cypher Dragon steal an Xyz monster. The Full Armor Photon has the effect you can detach material, target one card in the field, and destroy it. Cypher Blade has the same summoning effect as Cypher Dragon, or as Full Armor Photon, except its effects is very similar as well, as it can detach material, target one card your opponent controls, and destroy it. However, Cypher Blade cannot be used as Xyz material to turn it summoned. Or, not to turn it summoned. It can't be used as Xyz material. And its final effect is if it's destroyed, you can special summon a Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon from your graveyard. And the last big monster I play in the extra deck is one copy of Galaxy Eyes Cypher X Dragon. Cypher X Dragon has the effect you can Xyz summon it by using a Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon you control. So normally what you do with this is you activate Cypher Dragon's effects, deal an opponent's monster. Then if it was an Xyz monster, you'll then use it to summon Full Armor Photon, destroy a card. You then use Photon to summon Blade, have Blade destroy a face-up card. And then you'll use the Cypher Dragon, or the stolen Cypher Dragon. I just realized I messed it up. Use the normal Cypher Dragon, summon this using that original Cypher Dragon, destroy a card. Then summon this, destroy an opponent's face-up card. And then use the stolen Cypher Dragon to summon Cypher X Dragon. So that way you have 2 big monsters for the price of 1, which I think is actually funny. Assume your opponent stops none of that, because usually they're going to try to stop you right at the beginning of stealing their monster. But that is it for the extra deck. If you have any ideas of what you can do to improve the deck, besides adding the 2 new Horus cards, or the 3rd Imseti, feel free to comment your ideas down below. I really do read them. If you have any ideas of decks I can see being made in the future, or decks like to see face each other, feel free to comment down below as well, as I've been trying to think of more games I can do. And just, if you have an idea, comment it. I read the comments, and thank you so much for watching.